Hello, everybody. Today is the 27th of March, and as always, we're going to tell the pain story. This pain story had changed a lot of people's lives. I shed light into what something happened to our life and how we can create or manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So, are you ready? Let's get started. Okay. What is this? It's a pen. What do we use a pen for? To write. Now, there is a dog inside the room. I'm going to wave this in for the dog. What does the dog do? The dog probably will sleep, lick or chew this, or don't even pay attention to it, right? Just like my dog right now. He's playing with my hand. So, so for the dog, this one, what is this? It probably would be a chewing toy, right? But not a pen. So, for the dog, this one is not a pen, but for the human, this one is a pen. So, who is corrupt, the dog or the human? The answer is both are corrupt. For the dog, this one is a chewing toy, while for the human, this one is a pen to rate. The dog is corrupt in the dog world, and the human is also corrupt in the human world. So that is our first lesson. Both are corrupt. Now let's imagine that there is a table in front of me, so I'm going to put this thing on the table. And then both the dog and I will walk out the room. So inside the room, there'll be no human, no dog. What does this thing become? It is still a pen or chewing toy. Oh, it becomes almost nothing. And the ancient wisdom called this one as the emptiness. The emptiness is actually a very magical definition. As we understand the emptiness, we'll be able to achieve anything in our life, just like Ishmael Roche applied the emptiness into his business and was able to build a business with a revenue of $250 million a year. He's also able to help several refugees. So what is the emptiness? Why is that so magical? Let's go back to the page story, okay? So there's technically on the table when there's no human, no dot, it is almost nothing. It come on. Okay, it's this someone nothing. But as soon as I go back into the room and I look at this, this becomes a pen. When the dog comes back to the room and the dog look at this, this becomes a chewing toy. And when both the dog and I come back to the room at the very same time, we both look at this at the very same time, what does this thing become then? It becomes two things. A pen for me and a chewing toy for the dog. So a single thing, when there's no human, no dog, nothing to interact with, it comes back to true self, we call it the emptiness. So the emptiness is not darkness, it's not blackness, it's not nothingness or no feeling, no thinking. The emptiness is just so where it doesn't have anything to interact with. And indeed, each of us is one of us, whether you, me, any human being, any animal, any object, trees, land, they are all have emptiness. But then in reality, we always interact with one another, whether with each other or with something. So in reality, we always become something, right? Have the potential to become something, depending on who or what is looking at us at that very moment. And the magical of that is that, even though that we are just a single thing, but if we interact with different things, different people, we can become different things. We have the potential to become different things, different people to them, right? Also, for the same person, for the same person, for the same thing, you also have the potential to become different things to that same person at different moment. For instance, okay, I can be a good mother for my daughter. I can be a pleasant mother when I play with her. But I can be a very strict mother when I study with her. Right? So that how the emptiness and the potential are different. Okay? So let's move on. That is the second lesson. Along with the emptiness, we all have limited potential. Now moving on to the third lesson, okay? So I see this as a pen. So does this pen coming from me or does this pen coming from this thing? So this pen is actually coming from me. Why am I so certain? Because if this thing is the pen itself, then the dog or anything in this entire universe will have to see it for what it is, which is a pen. But just a dog, so this one is a pen. So this pen is actually coming from me. This pen is actually coming from my mind. Everything is actually coming from our mind. So that is our third lesson. Everything is actually coming from Now we all agree that this pen is coming from my mind, right? So I'm gonna change my mind and I'm gonna believe this will become a diamond, okay? So please pray with me. Diamond, diamond, diamond. Oh, Marys. It's still a pen. So what in my mind that forced me to see this as a pen but not a diamond? They all see it inside our mind that the ancient script of course. Come on. When we see something that sits inside our mind, pop up, open up and cover this and made it see it for what had been planted on you into. So who planted those sit into our mind then? Only you can plant the seed into your mind. Only I can plant the seed into my mind. How can we do it? We do it by three ways: by our words, by our actions, by our thoughts with other people. So for instance, I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna say that I have the pen. Would you like to have this pen? And when my friend say yes, please, I'm so happy to give this to my friend with the hope that I can help my friend. So when I do this, the palm open up and both me and my friend will see it and start living pocket in my mind. A couple days later, when I see this, I recognize this one as a pen, which means that the seed of the pen has already been planted into my mind. And now I pop up, open up, and cover this and made it see it for what had been planted for into my mind. And this is how a pen become a pen, and anything surround us become what and who they are to us. In the pen story, there are several meaningful lessons. Today, we're going to look for different lessons. The first lesson is both are corrupt. So we learn to respect each other's opinion, we learn to respect each other's choices, and we learn to listen to each other with a compassionate heart. And I think this is a very magical lesson, you know. It take practice, it take a lot of dedication to do it. And but one of the things that I learned, one of the tips that I learned is that, take things slowly. What do I mean by that? So prior to you react to anything, especially to your or to any kind of unwanted, event that happened to you, making sure that you take a deep breath, or even better, take a couple of breaths before react to it, and that will slow you down. And that is something that I really have to try to practice. But I truly believe that once you be able to understand the other person, try to understand their perspective and respect them. That is when you be able to give them the respect, the trust, the understanding, and that build up the happiness in the relationship. And not just you give the happiness to the other person, but throughout that process, you also create happiness within yourself. So that is the importance of the first lesson. Now go into the second lesson, which is along with the emptiness, we all have limitless potential. So trust your potential, trust the potential of everyone and everything around you, and trust the potential of whatever happened to you. And this is I actually, as I shared with you recently, so I've been practicing the code. Whenever things happen, whenever there's something in my mind, I will always say that. Okay, so this is the best thing that could happen to me at this very moment. And I truly, when you first say it, it doesn't it's just a saying. But when you start finding a way to make it become your belief, it's actually half magical. I see the magical change it, and it's happened to me. And I do feel like, the situation just get better and better every day. So that's how I feel. Like this lesson is also a very magical lesson as well. The third lesson is of within is actually coming from the citizens of mind. So we be 100% responsible to whatever happened to us. We don't blame anyone. And because in the end, we are the only one who can plant the seed into our mind. And this is actually a very important lesson for you to start taking charge of your life. Knowing which direction you want to go into your life, and you pursued it. It's very easy for people to think about to plan when unwanted event happen to their life. But then, if they take a step back, and we take a step back, and we think about it, we know that it's not. If you plan someone or if you plan something, are you the one who'll be able to change it? It is your life. So if your life all depend on the other person or the other event, then how could that be? So if we know that we are the one who taking charge of our life, then we'll be able to change it into the direction that we want. And that, how good is that feeling, right? You become more independent. You become more proactive, and you take in charge of your life. So that is a very also a very important lesson. And the fourth lesson is how we incorporate those lessons into our life to create and manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So first, you have to know what you want to achieve in your life using lesson. And number two, the emptiness and the potential. Choose the potential that you want your life to be. But then, know that it's not enough. You have to work toward it, right? So how do you do that? So you use lesson number three, you start planting those seeds using your word, your action, your thoughts to other people. So for instance, you want to have a happiness, then you start planting the happiness seed using your word, your action, your thoughts to other people, helping other people to be more prosperous. If you want more happier, if you want to have prosperity, yeah, prosperity. If you want to have more if you want to have you to be more prosperous, then just using your word, your action, your thought to other people, helping other people to be more prosperous. If you want to have wisdom, then use your word, your action, your thought to other people, helping other people to be wiser. And by doing that, you're actually planting the seed securely into your mind. And one of these days you'll be able to achieve whatever you wanted in your life. And I think that throughout this planning, this full lesson, I already share with you a couple of things, a couple of lessons of my own, right? Like as I share with you recently, I've been practicing the saying, whatever happened to me at this moment is the best thing that could have happened to me. And I truly believe that is it's helped me to see things a better way, and it bring happiness. It bring more. I feel like my the same event, but my life that event go up to lead to a better result. So I feel very, very fortunate to be able to have that realization, to be able to believe in that, because I know that sentence for a while, to be honest with you, that thought, but I have never come across my mind. I just know it because okay, it's one of the good things to have in your life, but being able to practice it is another thing, and I'm practicing it, and I can see the difference in it. So, so I just feel very blessed to know that and to practice this, and I would like to share that with you. So thank you everyone for listening to me today. Thank you everyone for coming me in this 3000-day journey. And if by me sharing with you the page story of my lesson is something good, I would like to dedicate that to my dearest family, to my friends, to my coworkers, to my neighbors, to my clients, or to any living things in this world or any other worlds with love, wisdom, and gratitude. Thank you so much. Bye bye.